Um,
Hello. Yeah, hi everybody. Welcome today. Good morning, good evening, everyone, to our International Toastmaster Club with an exciting theme on restaurants. When we think of restaurants, we think of the aromas that greet us as we step inside, the sizzling sound of the grill, the comforting scent of the freshly baked breads, or the fragrant herbs that infuse in our favorite dishes. I invite you to take a moment to reflect on the countless memories we have forged within the walls of these culinary heavens. Restaurants have a magical way of etching themselves into our hearts, leaving us with the cherished moments that stay with us for a lifetime. Think back to a special occasions, the milestones, or the simple joys that we have experienced in these restaurants. It could be the place where we celebrated a promotion, toasted to an anniversary, or gathered to honor a loved one. Restaurants have always a remarkable way to transporting us to a different cultures and regions of the world. With every bite, we embark on the culinary journey, exploring new flavors, spices, and cooking techniques. Each restaurant gives us a gateway to a different part of the globe, allowing us to expand our horizon and broaden our thoughts. So tonight, let us raise a toast to the countless memories we have created in the restaurants, the laughters, the tears, the celebrations, and the quiet moments of reflections. Now, let me call upon our grammarian for the day and Mary to give us the word of the day. Yeah, Lindy. Sorry. Uh, and
Yes,
Mary.
thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Food, restaurants, and we talk about edible food. So tonight, our word in keeping with the theme is palatable. Palatable means pleasant. To give an example, every palatable local red wine, or we could say Toastmasters, makes public speaking palatable. So over the next hour, I want to hear you say that word of the day at least once, and I'll be counting. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Yeah, thanks, Anne Marie. So I would encourage everybody to use this word palatable in their speeches or in their conversations. So let us now take it to the next level. We have two speakers today, Abhijit and Leena, who is going to speak for her first speech today. Uh, and then we have two evaluators, Elma and Lindy. And accordingly, then we will take it to our next sessions. So let me call upon evaluator one, Elma, to speak about the project details of Abhijit. Yeah, Elma.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening, good morning, good night, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Distinguished Toastmaster Abhijit Joshi will be speaking from his part that relates to question and answer. The purpose of his project is for him to learn about and practice facilitating a question and answer session. He's also to practice delivering an informative speech and run a well-organized question and answer session. He is responsible for managing time, so there is adequate opportunity for both. I yield this lecture back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of today.
So Abhijit is going to speak on a project, how to use AI to augment your speech by using Udly. So over to you, Abhijit. We would like to hear on this from your side.
Few months ago, my friend Ashwin called me. As we were talking on the phone, he said, "You have grown a lot as a speaker, but one thing you are missing is the dynamism." As I started reflecting on that, I realized that there was some truth in what he was saying. Because whenever I'm speaking, I'm thinking what I'm speaking. So it slows down my pace. And because of that, sometimes the dynamism does not comes out. But then someone showed me this Udly, an AI app, which can help us to take our speaking to the next level. So today I'm going to share a demonstration of Udly. How is Udly helping me? So let's get it started. How do you access the Udly app? Is going to your Toastmasters website. When you go to the Toastmasters website, just go down below. And you will see the Udly. Once you see the Udly, you just click on it there. It directly opens up the app on the same browser. So today I'm going to do a demonstration of a table topics. I'm going to ask, and this is my live background in real time. I'm going to ask Carol to ask me a table topics question. Carol, you are ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Can you ask me a table topics question?
Yes. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal.
One thing I have learned in life is when I stumble and fail, then only I wake up. If I just had success in my life, I would not be the same person in my life. I remember the first time I failed. It was April of 2010. My company got bought by another company, and that time I knew that, I am going to get laid off. But what I did, I asked my boss, "Hey, boss, do you think I'll get laid off?" He immediately replied, "No, no, no, don't worry about it." And what I did, I just believed him totally. 2 days before, I went to dinner at my friend Samir's place. I was excited to eat Indian food. But he was worried that he was going to get laid off since we both worked at the same company. But on Tuesday morning at 9:30, I was feeling a little sleepy. So I was going to get a coffee. And there I saw the VP coming towards me. I totally froze. I knew it was my turn to get laid off. And that day I learned that always believe in yourself, not the other people. I stumbled on my face. And that failure was a big lesson for me. So what I did, I just gave a table topics. Now what we are going to do is as soon as the speech is done, the software starts doing the analysis in the background. And now I will show you the analytics. Let's go back. I'll save the recording. And now you can see what here are the analytics it shows. There are two parts, okay, word choice and delivery. It tells me what words I'm using. Give me 1 second. Yeah. And also it shows me what weak words I'm using. This is something I really try to keep attention because I've seen when I'm speaking, I use the words like really, absolutely. So now today I use the word just 2 times, totally, and so 1 time. So it shows me weak words. One thing I learned from my friend is speaking is a superpower. Every word which we use can make an impact. So avoiding those weak words is important. Now I want to show you the delivery aspect of that. Here it shows me today that I was speaking at around 157 words per minute. Initially, when I started out, I was just speaking at 93 words. So I'm making that a conscientious decision to speak faster. Because when you speak faster, we sound more conversational. But it does not have to be too fast. I have to be very careful. I have an accent. I have to slow down enough so that people can understand each and every word I'm saying. So my average was around 122 words per minute. And it also shows where I took the pauses, loudness. So there was something in when I was at 40 seconds, I was very loud. So these are the different analytics it gives me. It also shows how many ums and ahs I use in my speech and any kind of repetitions I have. What I'm learning is the more I use, it helps me with my pace as well as to avoid the weak words. Now I will open it to question and answers. Anyone? Any questions?
I have a few questions related to this, Abhijit.
Mhm.
So this is we can record ourselves and try to uh, analyze that one part, or do we like needs to be in the meeting for this recording, or what is the how we can properly utilize this one?
You don't need to be in the meeting. I'm just demonstrating, and I just recorded myself in that app. So you don't
Okay.
have to be in the Toastmasters meeting. You can just do it for yourself.
And then we can do the same thing multiple times to improve the like same conversation multiple times till we will get the perfection
Yes,
answers.
yes. But
Okay.
one thing I want to say is this does not replaces the evaluation which you get in the meeting because that evaluation adds, this is only just the mechanical things it shows. But how your content is, it's shown by your evaluator, does not replaces the evaluator in the meeting. Okay. Lena, did I answer your question, Vikas?
Yes, thank you.
Lena, go ahead.
Yeah, so is this particular to our account or it's open? Anybody can check that video or our speech?
It is open to everyone, but I logged in through the Toastmasters account because Toastmasters and Udly have a partnership. Okay.
So, means if I upload my video, will it be visible by everybody
No,
or
no, it's just for you. This is personal account only.
okay. So it's safe? Okay.
Yes, it's very safe. Yep. Mukul, did I answer your question, Lena? Lena, did I answer your question?
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Mukul?
Okay, this is something which we are doing this statistical analysis for our own individual way. But is there something measurement or benchmarking something which we can compare how we are as against maybe a good speaker or maybe a comparison something wherein we can know where we lie in this?
At this moment, that aspect has not been built in this software yet, but maybe in the future they might add how do you compare yourself. But one thing they say here is counter, they said it has to be below 4%. They will let you know that it has to be below 4%.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Lindy?
In terms of your friend's feedback or your friend's feedback to you about dynamism, which measures do you think address that? The speed of speech? Is there anything else that you feels addresses that?
So one thing I've realized is the pace is one thing. The second one is the energy. I need to have that higher energy. The more I've seen other speakers speak, their energy levels, especially when I was watching Micah or Darren Lacroix or your presentation, the energy was high. And I want to make sure that I have that higher energy when I come and speak. That will help me to be more dynamic as a speaker.
And there's not something that measures that in this particular.
It shows more of a pace. Initially, I was speaking at a very slow pace, and that was something which immediately caught my eye. That when they are speaking, they speak at 114 words per minute, and I'm speaking at around 93 words per minute, a big difference of 20 words, because I'm taking that time to think what I'm going to say next. So, yeah.
Well, and that's a tricky calibration. That one's tricky because faster is not always better in the speaking.
I know, yes.
Yes.
It has to be that balance, you know.
So it has nothing about body language or gestures or any kind of, as far as dynamism, how dynamic you're being in terms of, it talked about your pitch and things, you can measure that, but nothing about your body, correct?
No, it doesn't have much about body. It might have something about eye contact. That's the only thing it has. It shows that I have a 91% of eye contact with the camera.
Great, thank you. So it sounds like it meets your needs a little bit, but you have other things you're going to rely on to reach that goal if it's a goal of yours.
Yes,
right?
I have to rely on my evaluators because that is the most learning I've had because they are real human beings. They're going to tell me, okay, how does it sound?
Thank you.
Thank you, Lindy. Sarika?
When I played with Udly, it helped me, I have to say. But because I'm a novice speaker, I didn't see this. Okay. I study models behind these things.
Yes.
And this model has a lot of glitches that I've noticed. For a beginner, a speaker like me who has a long way to go, who speaks faster, who has sharper sentences, this does a good job of telling me what I did, what I can improve on. I had a comparative study with a friend of mine, Mark Miller, and we together, he's a good speaker, he's a DTM. We both did this table topic experiment. I felt it could help me, but Mark Miller really didn't help, to Lindy's point, because it did not measure his volume and his energy. The energy turned out to be a volume, which was not correct. Because when you speak, when you have energy, your volume goes up, but that's not a right measure of the energy. That's how I felt. So just my 2 cents of my experimentation with this. But I'll tell you, the model is being refined, so someday we'll fix that. But to Mukul's question, we cannot do that because what you can compare against somebody else, that would not be allowed, at least for some time, because it's a liability issue. You compare with somebody, then usually can be put to court.
Thank you, Sarika. Any other questions, anyone? Avis, Anne-Marie?
Interested in the words per minute. You say that you were speaking too slow.
Yes.
I am interested because I find that people speak too fast. I do believe that slow, short is better, no matter what language you're speaking. So explain to me, you were speaking too slow.
sometimes what is happening is when I'm speaking, especially a speech, it's playing live in my head like a movie. So I'm thinking about it as I'm speaking. And sometimes I've felt that I slow it down tremendously, but I can be tiny bit faster. Because if I slow it down, I let the audience fall asleep. So if I can have that tinier bit faster pace, it catches them, it keeps them from sleeping. So that's what I meant by that. And I totally agree with you. As a foreign speaker or someone whose English is a second language, I have to take that time to enunciate my words properly. Because if I speak too fast, my enunciation will not be good. And I have to give enough time being a speaker of English whose English is a second language. Any other questions? Going once, going twice,
I have a
going thrice.
comment, not a
Yes, sure. Go
not,
ahead,
not
Avis.
a
Go ahead.
question. My comment would be one downfall for Udly is that it's telling you that you're speaking too slow. It is telling you that you are pausing, but it may not realize that you have a PowerPoint presentation, and so you need to pause. At some point, you need to go a little slower. So, like you said earlier, you will rely on your human evaluator.
That's it. The one emphasis I want to say again is it does not replaces the human evaluation. That gives us a different things, and this AI model gives us a different things. The combination of both can help us tremendously. Thank you so much. Back to you, Mukul.
Thank you, Abhijit, for giving us this enlightenment, something which was there with us, and I was not aware of this thing. So I'll try and use this and take whatever best I can. This was actually a palatable experience for me. Thanks. Now let us go back to our second evaluator, Lindy. Uh, the speaker for you would be Lena. So please uh, give your agenda of the evaluation today for Lena.
Yes, Mr. Toastmaster. Lena is working from her Engaging Humor path on Connect with Storytelling project. And the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. And she tells me she is indeed working on those storytelling skills, including vocal variety and facial expressions. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thanks, Lindy. Lena is going to speak on the topic unplug and unforgettable. So over to you, Lena. We are looking at your public storytelling skills in this topic. Thanks. Go ahead.
What? You did not have internet during your childhood? How did you survive without it? Life would be boring back then. That was response of my son. I feel this generation thinks that for a human being to survive, basic needs are not just food, clothes, and shelter, but having internet access too. As a lover of the great outdoors, I felt like nature has a way to recharge our batteries, to remind us of simple things in life. But convincing a teenage boy to leave his gadgets behind and go camping is as easy as getting a cat to take a bath. So, when my teenage son announced that he would rather spend his summer vacation glued to his video game than go camping with me, I knew that I have to appeal to his sense of adventure and make it seem as exciting as his latest video game. I started a conversation with him. Can you imagine a world without where connection doesn't need Wi-Fi? He looked at me I continue. Where tweets are only heard by birds and Facebook exists only in the faces of real books. Let me take you to the journey through time where I went for my first camping trip in India. It was summertime. Couple of friends and my family decided to go on an adventurous trip. As it was our first time, it took us almost a month to prepare for it. After detailed and extensive preparation, the day arrived. We began our journey on this adventurous trip with lots of excitement and enthusiasm. Although we rented a minivan to carry our luggage, we enjoyed walking in the nature. And when we arrived at the campsite, oh, it was the most picture perfect scenery I, a 13-year-old, had ever seen. There was a thousands of years old temple made with rocks. A beautiful river flowed behind it. When the sky filled with red and orange color, we could see sun's reflection in that river water. While adults were busy making dinner, we kids enjoyed playing in that water. There was a boardwalk. We also made the iconic Titanic pose there. I was the king of the world. That time we didn't have mobile camera to capture all these fun memories. But we took mental image of that beautiful place and stored in our hearts forever. After stuffing our tummies with delicious food, it was time for us to go to bed. But it was not a bed actually. It was just a mat on the floor and a thin blanket to cover our bodies. But due to the enormous physical activity we had during day, we fell asleep straight away, hoping to restore our energies for the next day. But wait, God had made some different plans for us to make our trip more exciting and adventurous. At around 2 am, it started to rain unexpectedly. It usually doesn't rain in India during early summer season, but that day it rained. We scattered around to look for shelter. Remember that temple I told you earlier? That became our safe place. We each got spot and went back to our dreamland. After a while, I felt something on my arm. I opened my eyes, but due to darkness, I couldn't see it properly. Something was crawling on my hand. Scorpion! Scorpions are poisonous. Oh God. What if it bites me? Oh God, help me. I don't want to die here. Help me. Come on, Lena. Come on, you can do it. I gathered all my courage, shook that bug off, and ran straight toward our minivan. It was pitch dark out there. The combination of wind howling and tree branches swaying back and forth almost sounded like, I'm going to get you. I locked myself in a minivan and prayed that it would get over soon. My son, who was listening to this story whole time, got curious and asked me, what did you do then, Mama? Did you end your trip there and came back home? And I said, no, dear. Although it was a scary night, it was the lifetime experience worth sharing. That night, I realized about my own strength. I was braver than I thought. That trip has broadened my horizon on life perspective, opened my mind for new possibilities. Life without the internet encourages us to live in the present, to be fully present in every experience and soak in the richness of the world around us. So let embrace the alternative reality, not as a rejection of internet, but as a reminder of immense possibility that are exist in outside of digital world. I want to live a life where I find balance in technology and actual experiences of life. I want to live a life where technology is a tool, not serve as a master. What about you? Over to Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Lena. It was a really wonderful experience. I think it took us away flowing in the speech, and there was a lot of moments where we enjoyed things. And we should actually get disconnected with these gadgets and enjoy the practical life which is around us. Thanks for that sharing that experience. Now let me go to the next session of our Toastmaster, which is the table topics session. I would like to invite Avis for taking this ahead. Table topics. Avis, over to you, Avis.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Good evening, good morning, good night, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Avis Russell. It is fun time. This is an opportunity for you to develop impromptu speaking. Table topics helps train you to express your thoughts. You can think of table topics as a mini speech with an opening, a body, and a conclusion. Then let's take this concept to another level. Let's practice our storytelling skills. Please share your viewpoints, relax. Remember, there's no wrong or right answers. Let's have some fun. Each speaker will be required to speak 1 to 2 minutes, but to share a story, I will present a picture. Let's do it. Share screen. Okay. So I'm going to share this picture and I'm going to give you an example. When you look at this picture, what do you see? I know one person in the audience can tell me this is their favorite dish, Elmo. But I want you to know this is also my daughter's favorite pastime. On a Saturday afternoon, she'll head down to Aura Key in Nassau, Bahamas, and she'll order this. If anyone is there with her, they will have to get their own dish. She does not share. She just loves it. It's made with conch, a seafood. It has onions, green peppers, and you can see some tomatoes in there. It's very palatable. She would have this almost, I wouldn't say every week, because it's really a treat, but she just loves it. Maybe when you visit Nassau, Bahamas, you can order this. I didn't time myself, but that's the gist. So the next item on the screen, I'm going to have a pro give us another example. Sorry. I'm going to call on Lindy. You can take any picture. They're basically the same and share your thoughts. 1 to 2 minutes.
Avis, I'm still seeing the same picture that you put up first. Did you want to change it or?
I thought I did. So what I'll do is I'll just end the other picture and then maybe it'll share. Let's see. I'll end this one. Oh no.
It's all right. I can just go if you'd like.
No, I gotta hide something first. So I know my time is eating away.
Lindy can take her own dish.
It's not just a dish. We are gonna talk about this.
Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, This takes me back. One of my very first jobs was at a restaurant. At first, I worked in front, helping people to be seated, but quickly I became a waitress. And the waitresses interface with the kitchen all the time. So seeing the cooks back there and hearing what they had to say, whether those people dining are not supposed to hear. Yes, I'm sure that cook had something to say while he was making that. The funny thing about working in restaurants is it's all about being friendly. It's all about helping to provide a wonderful time. And yet backstage, so to speak, back in the waiting area, it is chaos. Everyone's moving past each other like bees in a hive, trying to get the orange juice, trying to get the toast, trying to make sure that you have all the plates, making sure that you're on your way to the right place. And oh my goodness, that other table, they're still waiting for their food. And what happened to their food? You're trying to keep all these things in your mind, and you're trying to do everything well, and yet create some feeling of serenity. I don't know how I did it this, but I must tell you that for years after working there, decades, I would have restaurant nightmares where I would suddenly find myself in the restaurant. The seating had changed. I didn't know any table numbers. It was a new menu and my section was full. And I was trying to figure out what to do and where to go, and nothing was working. And oh, that got my heart rate up pretty quickly. Yes, you could call it a nightmare rather than a dream. That is one thing that has happened to me related to restaurants. Table Topics Master. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindy. So I'm still navigating my shared screen. I'm gonna now call on our guest, Ficus, or maybe she is Ficus, can you share, please? When you look at this photo, what comes to mind?
Oh, it's looked like a party, restaurant party. So yeah, it's been a while, like few years before an incident happened related to parties. Like I went with my friends, and there are a lot of other people are also there, and me, my wife was there with our friends, and suddenly the light went out. So it was everywhere. It was fully dark. We cannot see each other. Then the thoughts come into our minds. So why not we will enjoy as a candle party and candle dinner? So the restaurant people also started giving us candles, right? So that everybody started enjoying in a different mood rather than having a party like the dance party. Now it's become a soothing party for everyone. So that's really enjoyable. That's the event come to my mind.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see. The same photos keep coming and I don't want them. Okay, here we go. Okay, this picture goes to Sarika. Please share. Is she here?
Yep. Thank you, Table Topic Master. This is one of the things in my bucket list. As I'm a classic introvert, I love living inside my house. I literally never go out. That has affected me in many ways. Why is my bucket list? Because I never dined alone. I always, it's almost a dining, going out to have a dining out is because somebody asked me to go, and it's like a dread, and I The bigger the crowd, the less you see of me. One of my Toastmaster friends or mentor, Sally, has given me a challenge for 2023 that one day I dine out just by myself and my book. It's May. I still haven't done it. May 4th was my birthday. I was supposed to do that. I didn't do it. I was supposed to celebrate my son's graduation with a single dining party. Me only dining party. I didn't do it. I'm really, really, really hoping by the end of summer at least, I will work up my courage to dine alone in a fancy place, maybe with a book. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you.
Avis, you're muted.
Okay, the last picture goes to Elma. Elma, what do you think when you see this picture? Oh, you can't see it yet. Sorry.
You see my Bahamian flag.
Share screen. Okay. What about this one?
Oh, thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. It looks, oh.
Sorry, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. The top picture, I am looking at what seems to be a pot roast.
Yes.
With the fire behind it, and obviously the person who ordered it ordered well done. It looks enticing. And it looks like at a restaurant that is comfortable. You can eat outside, enjoy the atmosphere, the beauty of God's nature, while enjoying that palatable piece of rump. It makes me feel like getting a plate right now, but I won't. I'm watching my waistline. Thank you for that opportunity to share this evening, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, thank you. If I have time, I'm going to do one more. Can you see it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to do one with some wine. There you go. So just ignore the picture below. And this, sorry, when I'm sharing my screen, I can't see the audience.
Anne-Marie, Anne-Marie.
No.
Anne-Marie.
I am a grammarian, but you want to have a go?
What about Pamatish?
Pamatish, okay.
Can you just talk about that top picture, please? It's not there anymore, but it'll be there shortly. I can get my thing back up. Okay, there we go. Glass of wine in the evening time.
I remember a time when I used to party a lot. I used to be with my friends. They were from all ages, from 18 to 60. All of us were just into one thing: enjoy life. Enjoy life as if we are living it for the last day. Every day we used to party, we used to go to plays, we used to go to dance parties, and after that we used to have a drink and discuss what happened in the evening before. It was a fun time, and I consider it one of the best times I ever had. But now, as I am growing old, I have just stopped uh, living this party life, and I have just decreased my consumption of alcohol. So, but I really think the essence of living life, that it is the last day of our life, makes us happy. Over to you, the topics master.
Thank you, Pamitish, and thank you to all participants for making. Back to you,
Thank you.
Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Avis, for this wonderful experience. I think this was a different way we can do this table topics master, because it actually excites us to think and move our thoughts or make our mind look into deeper things rather than asking a question directly. And this was a wonderful way. Thanks, Avis, once again. I appreciate that. Now let us go back to our next journey, which is a general evaluator. I will call upon Sarika to take up the things for evaluating different uh, sessions like evaluators and timers report and other things. Over to you, Sarika.
Thank you, thank you, Toastmaster Mukul. I would like to start off the general evaluation portion by calling on the evaluators. First, I would like to call Abhijit's evaluator. Was it Elma?
Yes,
Elma.
I'm
Yes,
here.
Elma.
I'm here. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, on right and time. Toastmaster Abhijit, thank you for an excellent and palatable presentation on Udly. I found your presentation to be structured with good information that can benefit your audience. Your introduction was smooth, and I felt it immediately grabbed the attention of your audience with clear and relatable visual aids. You also added a personal story. Good touch there. I must say, you achieved the purpose of your project as you asked questions and responded with clear and concise answers. It is quite obvious that you gained and maintained your audience attention, as there was not a delay in the questions that came forth from your audience. I love the way you did not rush your response, and you took the time to ensure you answered them concisely by asking if they and your responses answered the questions that were asked in a satisfactory manner. Job well done. Excellent presentation, great content, and equally great audience engagement. However, I do have one small recommendation for you, which I feel would have truly enhanced your presentation. I noticed that when the last question was asked and you answered, you you lost focus a bit there because you did not end your presentation with a conclusion. And this would have really enhanced your presentation and would have made it, if not perfect, almost perfect. So next time that you do a presentation, just be careful. With all the excitement, be careful to make sure you have your introduction, body, and your conclusion. That's important. You started strong, so always remember to end just as strong. Great job. I enjoyed your presentation. And I cannot speak for your audience, but from what I saw the engagement, I think they did too. And we learned something about Udly, which was palatable information. Thank you, and back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Elma, for your not just palatable but scrumptious feedback, positive feedbacks on Abhijit's speech. Next, I would like to call on Lindy to evaluate Lena's speech. Lindy, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, honored guest, and especially Lena. Thank you for this first speech at our club. It was so dynamic and it was absolutely more than palatable. You certainly achieved your project goals. You went on beyond that. I'm going to share a few of the many things that worked so well with this speech, add just a few things that could perhaps take it to another level. Although if you did nothing to change this speech, it's already excellent. You had nice humor woven in. The business of trying to convince a son is like trying to get a cat to take a bath. And the scorpion part was also had a lot of humor in it. Your opening, what hit us right away, was so engaging. What? You didn't have internet? You got us right into the scene beautifully. You were reliving this so clearly. You embodied the emotions. Your descriptions of the visuals of the camping site were very vivid. And your vocal variety was wonderful. You, particularly, I noticed it during the storm, of course, the fear and the as it got scary, your voice changed, and the waving of the things outside. Your voice went along with the storm wonderfully. And then also you had props. Somehow among all this, you also wove in props, the scorpion. That was very fun, surprising addition to have that. A few small things that could take it up a level. You do the dialogue really well with the focus. You could add a response to the dialogue. What? You didn't have internet? You could have your own eye roll or whatever your response to your son was. Same when you spoke to him, he probably rolls his eyes. So you could play a little with adding that visual exchange. Your son's voice could be a little more different from yours. I don't know if his voice has started to change or if his voice is still high, but either way, to differentiate it from yours that much more would be great in terms of vocal variety. You, as an advanced challenge, could divide your stage for storytelling purposes. You and your son could be talking about internet and things on one side of the stage, and then you could use the other side for enacting the camping experience, so that you have the two different places. The only thing that is useful is for us as viewers to kind of, we kind of take a hologram of it. This is that, this is that. It just makes it that much easier to follow. And again, an advanced challenge would be to add other senses when you're describing that wonderful campground. What was the sound of the water? Were there any particular smells? So just add more senses than the visual. In other words, to recap, adding high-level things like a little more vocal variety between your son and you, so a little visual exchange in the dialogue, more senses in the descriptions, and using your stage in a couple of parts would just make it that much fuller experience, but you already so excelled at the humor, the reliving it, the vocal variety, the props, and the descriptions. It was just fabulous. It was really a fine thing, and I loved it, every minute of it. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Lindy, for that detailed evaluation. Next, I would like to call on the AHA counter, Pramatesh. Pramatesh, you might have to unmute yourself before you speak.
This is my account. Abhijit and Mary was completely flawless. In the Q&A session, I observed quite a few ahs and ums. It is understandable because people are thinking on their feet. And during the table topic session, Lindy was flawless, but during the evaluation, she had one ah. That's my report.
Thank you, Pramatesh, for that detailed evaluation. I like the Excel. I like Excels. With that, I would like to call on our grammar police, my favorite, our favorite, grammarian Anne Marie.
I actually was doing the AR count as well, but I'm so glad, Pramatesh, you took over that task. So I'm left with the very, very responsible job of the grammar police. And tonight, it soared to great heights. I had very little to say for once. Well done, concise, relaxed pacing. It was so evident tonight, and that really lifted your grammar. I want to congratulate everybody on having a good pace, energy, particularly Sarika, Abhijit, and Pramatesh. I've seen such dramatic improvement in the last few months. Now, how many of you took the challenge to have the word of the day? I do believe that we had some really good, Sarika, Lindy, Elma, and Avis, you really went for it. And as I always say, you are Toastmasters, you have to get it in at least once. There are always opportunities to expel, to really go for it with language. I heard some very sophisticated words tonight, but I do want to encourage you to think of other ways of speaking. Swallow a dictionary. Immense possibility was one of those words. The metaphors, you still had your magic tonight. I stumbled on my face, Abhijit. Easy as taking a cat to take a bath. I love that. And that's what we call a simile, using a comparison to emphasize. So who said that? I loved it, and I'm going to be repeating it all week. Some powerful phrases as well. Failure is not fatal, Carol. Speaking is a superpower. There was less distraction tonight with word endings, but I did hear I'm telling you. So just remember to open up and finish those words. Pronunciation, again, we don't care about your accent. It's about slowing down and giving meaning to every word you say. Some of you really killed the consonants tonight. Vikras, also there, TH, there. Lena, others, you meant others. I heard the will when we mean will, and they when we mean way. And remember jargon, there's a place for jargon, but I think I heard, do we like, McCall? Just be careful. Also, grammar, the grammar was very safe tonight. Remember to complete your sentences. The three words that we always forget, the, a, and an. Don't have mobile camera. We don't have a mobile camera. Listen to story, listen to the story. So please complete the full sentences and remember these short words. I would then also encourage you to say as few words as possible. Pause, breathe, and smile. That's something I got from Abhijit, and I've been saying it ever since. Overall, I did enjoy some very palatable metaphors, elegant clarity. Congrats to everybody tonight. Well done. Over to you, Madam GE.
Thank you, General Grammarian. You, as always, it's a beautiful report. Thank you. Next, I would like to call on the timer, Carol, who has been posting her timings in the chat. But could you please give us a report give us a timer's report, please?
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster. The prepared speeches, Abhijit spoke for 17 minutes. Lena, 6 minutes, 28 seconds. Table topics, Lindy, 1 minute, 50 seconds. Vikas, 1 minute. Sarika, 1 minute, 10 seconds. Elma, 1 minute, 15 seconds. Pramates, 2 minutes, 6 seconds. And at evaluation, the evaluators, evaluator 1, Elma, spoke for 2 minutes, 40 seconds. Evaluator 2, Lindy, spoke slightly over 3 minutes, 50 seconds. And that's all from me. And back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Carol, for that detailed report. Now I'll give the evaluation of the meeting. I'll start off with the evaluation of the evaluators. Elma, I love how you dish out this palatable, scrumptious dishes of positive feedback. I really love that piece about you. If I may make one suggestion, conclude your speech, make a strong conclusion. And something like to conclude, maybe that would help, or to say overall, because in your evaluation, I noticed at least 2 conclusions, and I was wondering which was your real conclusion. Each of them had a different point. They had its strengths. So I wanted to know which one is more impactful, which is what you want to leave the audience with. That is one suggestion, but I love your details. Lindy, I know you had your timer covered. That otherwise there's nothing I could have said about it. Your timing card was covered, so otherwise you did good. You're always good, and I'd always like your structure. Next, I would like to go to the Toastmaster for the night or the day. It would have been good to introduce the Toastmaster. I think the Sergeant of Arms is not in the house, so we just started with the Toastmaster. It would have been a good introduction. Because is this the first time you're coming to Toastmasters, or are you a member of the Toastmasters?
No, this is not the first time, but I'm going to become a member.
Okay, thank you, Vikas. It's a pleasure having you. So that leaves the Toastmaster at a spot where we should introduce our roles, because guests do not know what exactly the different roles are in a Toastmaster. We did not introduce our hard counter or the timer before the speech started. Introducing the timer helps the speakers, evaluators, table topic bookmark the timer. But one thing I really loved about your MC tonight is how you brought a good introduction. You gave a good conclusion to the speeches, or a good before you went on to the next speaker. That was very beautifully done. Thank you, Mukul, for that. Table topic at Avis. Now that is really a palatable plate. You brought these questions that everybody could answer, and that definitely is the strength of a good table topic question when others can answer. I love how, though you had technical challenges, you went on with it and completed. Technical challenges are part of life. to continue with that with a brave face is how we learn, something we learn at Toastmasters, and you did it amicably, beautifully. Thank you. And the grammarian's report was beautiful, which I already said. Our husbands did. But with that, I would like to hand over this general evaluation portion back to the Toastmaster of the night, Margot.
Thanks, Sarika, for evaluating everybody in detail. I would actually thank everybody for pushing themselves, and I think everybody had some role today to play. So that was something fantastic that all the members have participated equally. Now I have one guest, Vikas. I would like to just have your feedback in terms of how was your experience today in this Toastmaster meet. Over to you, Vikas.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Yes, there are again, like as I said on our last meeting also, there is always a new things to learn. And today's new thing was from the again Abhijit, the Yodli, and that's really a nice app and or the whatever you can say like website, which can help not only to me but I believe to a lot of other people also. But at least to me, it will be great help, which I'm planning to utilize extensively to reduce my counts and to improve my speeches. Other than that, like the Lena presentation or speaks was really nice, specifically the way she represented, and also the Avis. I don't know what you call table topic, but yes, that's really helpful for immediately explain and think about the whole 1 minute speech. That's really helpful for me, like in the future. Yeah, thank you for providing an opportunity to Toastmaster.
Thanks, Vikas. Now I go over to Carol, our president, if she has something to say to the forum.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster, for hosting this meeting. It went well. Although we had not many members joining, but it's still a time that everybody learns. Everybody, I think, all of us do enjoy and know what we are going to do for the next meeting. So let's work on our next meeting. Get into the free toast host, the agenda, and add your name so that you can learn and get along every meeting, improve, keep doing. And that's why I'm always at the meeting when I have the opportunity. Unless I have to go out to Singapore, I'm here, always ready to listen to Abhijit, to listen to Anne-Marie, to listen to Lindy. We have good speakers here. And that's all. Is there anything from Abhijit that you want to share?
Nothing. That's it. I'll send out the agenda in next 1 hour for next week.
I would like to have a little shout out to Abhijit for doing an amazing job with his team. I know he had a team, but nevertheless, every team needs leadership. And it was a remarkable conference. Congratulations to you. That was a year-long project that came to a beautiful fruition. So everyone, round of applause. For
Yes,
Abhijit.
congratulations, Abhijit. Well done.
Abhijit. You really had been so hardworking. I'm really amazed where you have all the time. And with this, the meeting is adjourned.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.